All right, episode 3 of season 5 of Samurai Jack. So if you watched my episode 2 review, you know how much I loved that episode. This episode kind of follows the same structure, I would say, I guess, or the same kind of things that happen with the daughters tracking Jack and them all fighting. So of course, what happened in last episode, Jack was injured and he's been floating down this river and eventually kind of makes his way to a cave to find refuge so that he can heal himself. And then the wolf that we saw in the last episode that was kind of symbolic of Jack's own situation comes over and they kind of give each other some company because they're both injured and they both need some healing. So it's almost as if they're giving each other physical and mental like therapy, I guess. So finally this time it's really interesting seeing the daughters track him and seeing how good they are at tracking him, because I mean, for all they knew, he could have been anywhere because he blew up the exit that he went out of that fortress in the last episode. So it's really cool to see their tracking ability and not just their fighting ability as well. And of course, this time Jack gets the drop on them. And this fight was awesome too. Whereas the last episode it was more Samurai Jack trying to escape from these girls. Whereas this episode is Samurai Jack, okay, well, if I can't escape them, then I'm gonna stand my ground and I'm gonna defeat them. And it was really nice too, back when he was at the cave, he had this vision of his dad who stood his ground and fought these other guards. And it kind of motivates Jack to do the same, stand his ground and fight these daughters off. I thought that was a really great moment with his flashback with his father and mother. And actually during the fight, which was really awesome, and he was actually using the daughters like weapons and stuff almost against them, and it was actually really interesting during this whole confrontation. We brought back a concept from the past of Jack using the light against his foe, blending in with the light like he did when he fought the shinobi warrior who used shadow to hide in the shadows and attack from the shadows. And Jack in that episode said, you use the shadows while I was trained to use the light, and he blends in with like the sunlight and stuff and hides in the sunlight. I thought that was really awesome. And this, he used the light, he used the snow to hide out and basically attack his enemies from the snow and surprise attack. And it was really cool, and it actually was really brutal to say the least. Like, he needed to get past the fact that these were humans, and for himself to survive, he needs to defeat them any possible way he can because they're too dangerous. So he basically just picks them off one by one. Not easily, I might add. But again, the choreography in this and the tension and just seeing this battle was amazing. And of course, at the end, he positions himself on this tree so that they can't all fight him at once. They have to go at him one at a time, which makes it easier for him to pick them off one at a time. And the part where he just punches her right in the face, that was so funny, and basically knocked her down, and she fell down basically to her death. Which, who knows, maybe she survived that because Jack and the other girl, the chain girl, fell down to their quote-unquote deaths as well. And that's the cliffhanger of this episode. They fell down and seemingly died, but is that the end of the season? I don't think so. So they're probably still alive, or at least Jack is. So that was a really interesting ending there with that cliffhanger. And this season so far has been interesting and a little bit different from the original in that it's basically one storyline so far, starting from episode 2, or you could even say from episode 1, whereas the first 4 seasons were episodic. This has been one story so far, so we're not getting any to be continued kind of stuff, I guess, because it's always to be continued. But guys, let me know what you thought of episode 3. I really enjoyed it. I think I liked episode 2 a little bit more just because it had that really thick layer of tension on it. This episode arguably had better fight, but I still liked episode 2 a little bit better. I'm not sure why. I think it was that tension. So I hope you liked the review. There will be more in the future, so go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you later.